about the law of attraction, especially when people are complaining about things are not going their way. Explain that more. What do you mean?
Well, I talk to a lot of people, and so we already know like practicing the law of attraction is like practicing the law of gravity. So it doesn't work that way. The law of attraction is working 24/7. It's always on. So whatever we attract in our reality is exactly what's going on in between our ears, in our mind, the thoughts that we have. So this morning, and that's why I want to talk about it, I got a message from somebody who was complaining about a whole slew of experiences that he went through that are the opposite of what he wanted. And he was complaining and complaining and complaining. This is happening, and that person did that to me, and that person did that to me. And I was listening. But at the end of the day, whatever came out of his mouth didn't say anything about the people that he was talking about, but it says everything about him, because whatever came out was the story of what was going on in between his ears. So if you're going to think that you're going to sit in traffic, you will sit in traffic. Or if you are going to think that your spouse is going to cheat on you and you keep reinforcing that thought in your head, guess what? The
They are.
chances that your spouse is going to cheat on you are very real. So it is something that most people underestimate. Like we think that we have to focus on those things that we want, but we forget to refrain, not to think about, like to refrain on thinking about what we don't want.
That's a great point. Oh my goodness. And because if you could do that and you dwell on that all the time, you're going to create what you want to create in so many ways.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's all about the practice of being grateful, thinking about what you're grateful for. Because if you do that, then you're going to attract more of that. If you keep rehearsing in your mind all the scenarios that you don't want, or all the scenarios that happened to you that you didn't want to happen, but you keep dwelling in that, you keep rehearsing all those situations, guess what? They will show up in your life and you will see more and more evidence of what you don't want.
And that's not good.
No, no, that's how you know that you're not on the right track. So if you start complaining about your neighbor because they are putting the trash out the day before and then the animals take everything out, and I can go on. If you keep rehearsing that scenario, oh, today they're going to put their garbage back out, and you're already thinking about it, guess what? It's going to happen. You get what you think about. So if this is happening and it annoys you, it means that it is on your mind. So now you have to create a scenario that you see your neighbors putting the trash out the morning that it is picked up. And guess what? If you keep doing that, it's a stupid example, but it makes it more light. Like if it goes about very, very heavy personal stuff, it's the same thing. You know what I mean?
And so what we need to focus on is creating uh gratitude and not bad things.
Yeah, you
Because
get more of what you think of. If you are grateful, no matter what it is, the grateful vibration is in yourself. Like if you remind yourself 100 times a day, I'm so grateful for the sun that's shining on the lake, or I'm so grateful for not being, you're not in traffic. You can drive. Oh my God, I'm so grateful I'm not in traffic. Guess what? You're never going to be in traffic because you're just grateful for not being in traffic. So we have to reprogram that our mind constantly. We are so used, our paradigm is to see the bad. We need to see the good and be thankful 24/7 instead of say, oh my God, that dress, I hate the dress that she's wearing. Why
yeah,
would we do that? Why would we put all that garbage in our minds?
that would make no sense to do it at all. And we got to take a reflection of ourselves at times, right? And say,
Yeah.
what are we thinking about most of the time?
Well, you don't even have to, you know what you think about most of the time because that is what's happening in your life. That is what's going on. And again, the next level is not to judge yourself, like not to judge yourself. I had that tendency to do that. Like I saw all kind of stuff and I was judging it, and I'm like, oh my God, why can't I not be more positive? Why can't I? So I started to dwell in the idea that I couldn't do it, that I couldn't see all the good. Like, so you also have to be a little bit compassionate with yourself, because that's the next level. If you're in this whole law of attraction world, then you start beating yourself up for not having results. And guess what? If you do that, then you're not going to get the results, because that's what you get put your attention on. It is such a tricky thing. So you just need to be aware all the time. Consciousness is everything. We always go back to that. Consciousness is everything. What am I thinking? What is happening in my life? Am I aware of what's happening in my life? Is this what I want? Is this what I don't want? The action that I'm doing right now, does it bring me closer to my goal or not? That's the consciousness. That's the awareness.
And so if you're complaining all the time, you're bringing about those things.
Yes, then you bring negativity to yourself. You're going to be a complainer. You're going to get more from the universe to complain about, because that's your energy. You're a complainer. So
And
they're
then
going to
how can you,
pick it up.
and when like things go wrong, then you could complain more. Like you're on the right track, and then somehow your track just gets taken off the rails fast.
Again, 100% convinced. I'm 100% convinced that even if things go wrong, they're for the better. That is the trick. Let's say you are stuck in traffic. Thank you for not being in traffic right now, because there's probably a reason. Maybe something happened. Maybe I have to be late 5 minutes. Maybe because I'm late now, I'm going to meet the love of my life. Maybe because now I'm in traffic and 10 minutes later, I'm going to meet the love of my life. What about that? So you can always see the good. The glass is always half full. Always.
I like that. Okay, so that's we have the glass is always half full. And but what happens if just that then when bad things happen, we can't reflect, we can't dwell on it. We have to move forward to the what we're grateful for.
Yeah, exactly. Like bad things will happen. We are living in a 3D world. We are living in a world of experiences. We are like, again, bad things are only because we make them bad. And again, I'm not taking away all the medical stuff, those are real. And again, when you go through those, even then there is a silver lining, even then. And so the goal is to find the silver lining in everything. And that can be very, very tough in many cases, but try to find the silver lining, even if it is very, very small. Even if you have to bring a relative to the hospital because they need some help, the silver lining can be, oh my God, I'm capable of bringing this person and being there for them. And I can be grateful for having the time and the ways to do this, Try to find the silver lining, even if it looks on the outside that everything goes wrong.
Wow. Yeah. So that's the thing. Find the silver lining in anything. And when does your ego get in the way?
All the time.
So the ego that I can't just be art of allowing this to happen, and not to dwell on it again, and not to go back to it again, and not to constantly over and over do it, and just
Yeah,
move forward.
that's where surrender comes in. When you start fighting something, it comes from your ego. When you try to make something undone or different, or you want to force your ways to something, into something, you want to have it your way. That's when the universe says, oh, you want it your way? No problem. You get it your way. And that is usually bad, because when you force things to happen, you will get what you want, but that is not necessarily what you need or what is best for you. I promise you, when you get out of the way, when you can let your ego rest, when you can say to your ego, no, 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 we're not going to go there, the universe always has something better in mind than you can ever come up with.
All right. best place people can go is your YouTube channel, Rika Rivka Markel. Great information again, and we can't complain. That's it.
And we can not do our
It's
best.
not going to be because it's going to be awful for everything. Appreciate it, Rika.
Okay.
All
Bye-bye.
right. You're listening.